Step into the irreverent, laugh-out-loud world of Married with Children, 1987 to 1997, the groundbreaking sitcom that pushed boundaries with its sharp humor, outrageous antics, and a cast of unforgettable characters who became TV icons. While fans still remember the chaos of the Bundy household, the biting jokes, and the unforgettable moments that defined a generation, some of the talented actors who brought the show to life have tragically passed away over the years. From leading stars to beloved supporting players, their untimely losses remind us of life's fragility and the lasting impact they left behind. Celebrate their legacy and the laughter they gave us. Janet Carroll was born on December 24, 1940, in Chicago, Illinois, and joined Married with Children in 1994 at age 54 as Gary, Al Bundy's sharp, no-nonsense boss and owner of the shoe store. On screen, Gary exuded a commanding authority rarely seen in female television characters of the era, often intimidating Al with a blend of professionalism, acerbic wit, and subtle humor. Carroll's early life was shaped by a working-class upbringing in Chicago, where financial struggles and a family that demanded excellence in arts forced her to develop resilience and hide emotional vulnerability. She experienced significant personal loss with the death of her son in 1978, an event that profoundly impacted her outlook and emotional depth, leaving a lasting shadow on her creative expression. Professionally, Carroll carved a niche for herself in both stage and screen, balancing a rigorous schedule of theater, television, and film while maintaining her remarkable 3.5-octave vocal range. She faced the challenges of a male-dominated industry, navigating typecasting and occasional critical skepticism about her transition from musical theater to sitcoms. Her perseverance, mentoring of younger actors, and ability to maintain dignity amid personal trials exemplified her resilience. Carroll's later years were marked by her battle with brain cancer, yet she continued performing and contributing to her craft until her final days. She passed away on May 22, 2012, at 71, leaving behind a net worth estimated at $1 to $2 million, a legacy of versatility, determination, and the rare ability to project strength and warmth simultaneously. Beyond her financial success, her impact on female representation in sitcoms and her dedication to artistic expression remain an enduring part of her story, blending public acclaim with a private narrative of resilience and quiet heroism. Steve Suskin was born on October 3, 1942, in Springfield, Massachusetts, and became part of Married with Children in 1987 at age 45, portraying Barney, a minor yet memorable recurring character who added subtle humor and nuance to the Bundy universe. Barney's understated comedic presence often provided a foil to Al's antics, grounding the chaotic narrative with small but effective gestures and reactions that showcased Suskin's timing and versatility. His childhood was marked by modest means and the strict discipline of his family, which instilled in him a profound sense of responsibility, adaptability, and an early understanding of performance as a means of both survival and expression. Suskin cultivated a diverse career in television, film, and voice acting, including credits in Friends, Frasier, and News Radio, as well as animated works like Monsters Incorporated and The Emperor's New Groove, earning a reputation as a skilled, reliable actor behind the scenes. His personal life remained largely private, but he navigated the stresses of a competitive industry, including periods of uncertain employment and the psychological toll of being typecast or overlooked despite clear talent. He never faced public scandal, but the challenges of constant work and balancing family life tested his endurance. Suskin died tragically in an automobile accident on January 21, 2005, in Sunland, California, at age 62, leaving an estate valued between $500,000 and $1 million. His professional legacy is one of understated brilliance, versatility, and dedication to craft, influencing voice acting and character performance in television and animation while remaining a figure whose off-screen life reflected the quiet struggles and triumphs of a committed working actor. Kathleen Freeman was born on February 17, 1923, in Chicago, Illinois, and in 1995 at age 72 began lending her distinctive voice to the unseen yet omnipresent character of Peg Bundy's mother in Married with Children. Her portrayal, delivered entirely through voice, became a running gag that shaped the Bundy household's humor, with shrill insults and comedic rants that animated scenes without her physical presence, showcasing her mastery of timing and characterization. Freeman grew up during the Depression era in a working-class family, contending with financial instability, gendered expectations, and the societal pressures of pursuing an acting career at a time when opportunities for women were limited, all of which contributed to a steely resolve and a sharp wit she carried into adulthood. Her career spanned more than 5 decades with over 100 film appearances, numerous television roles, and later a triumphant Broadway debut in The Full Monty, earning a Tony nomination and critical acclaim. Freeman never married and had no children, a personal choice she intertwined with her dedication to craft, though it also meant facing isolation and the demands of a life constantly in performance. Her later years included the challenges of aging in Hollywood, health concerns, and the need to remain relevant in an industry that often overlooked older women. She died of lung cancer on August 23, 2001, at age 78, leaving a net worth of around $1 million. Freeman's cultural and professional legacy is monumental. She demonstrated the power of voice, presence, and comedic intelligence, proving that an unseen character could dominate the imagination of viewers and shape the dynamics of a landmark television series, leaving an indelible imprint on both audiences and the craft of acting itself. J.J. Johnston, born October 24, 1933, in Chicago, Illinois, entered Married with Children in 1987 at age 54 as Beebe, a seemingly minor character whose brief appearances left a lasting impression due to his sardonic wit, streetwise charm, and ability to stand out amid the Bundys' chaotic household. On screen, Beebe was a reflection of the hardened, world-savvy individual who had learned to navigate life with humor and toughness, and Johnston brought a natural gravitas and authenticity to the role, drawing audiences in despite limited screen time. Born into a working-class, ethnically Irish-American family, Johnston's childhood was marked by instability, financial insecurity, and exposure to crime and violence in the streets of Chicago. He suffered the trauma of parental neglect and the constant need to prove himself among peers, which fostered a defensive toughness and a keen observational sense that would later inform his nuanced acting. His adolescence included stints in juvenile detention and later incarceration as a young adult due to drug-related offenses, leaving him with deep psychological scars but also a resilience and perspective few of his peers possessed. Johnston's life-changing events included the death of close friends and mentors in violent circumstances, struggles to regain custody of his life after prison, and the persistent challenge of proving his worth in Hollywood despite a checkered past. Rising from these setbacks, he dedicated himself to theater and screen work, collaborating with David Mamet and taking on character roles in landmark films such as JFK and Fatal Attraction, while also becoming an author of several books on boxing history, a passion from his youth. Off-screen, he remained a mentor to younger actors, a figure of redemption and tenacity. Johnston passed away on November 4, 2022, at age 89, leaving a net worth of approximately $1 million, with a legacy defined by his transformation from troubled youth to respected actor, and the authenticity and depth he brought to every role, particularly the understated yet memorable Beebe. Mary Pat Green, born September 24, 1951, in Kansas City, Missouri, appeared in Married with Children in 1993 at age 42 as Marge, a quirky, outspoken character whose presence consistently disrupted the Bundys' antics with sharp humor and energetic unpredictability. Marge was a comedic foil, exuding a vibrant personality that demanded attention and allowed Green to channel her own larger-than-life stage persona into a character beloved by audiences for her intensity and eccentricity. Green's upbringing was shaped by a modest Midwestern family, where financial constraints, conservative social norms, and the pressure to conform created a crucible of internalized restraint, forcing her to hide her intelligence and wit to gain acceptance. Early experiences of ridicule and subtle discrimination instilled a deep resilience but also seeded anxieties that would occasionally surface in her adult life. Her personal life was marked by both triumphs and tragedies. She navigated the challenges of a demanding stage and screen career while confronting the emotional toll of long tours, grueling rehearsal schedules, and occasional industry bias, and later faced the devastating impact of Alzheimer's disease, which eroded her cognitive abilities and independence. Professionally, Green overcame repeated setbacks, building a prolific career with television appearances on shows like Friends, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and The West Wing, while her theater work, particularly her unprecedented 1,500 performances as Reverend Mother in Nonsense, demonstrated unmatched stamina, creativity, and commitment. Her later years were quiet, spent away from the limelight, yet she remained an influential figure for her resilience, professionalism, and advocacy for mental health awareness. Green passed away on September 9, 2024, at age 72 due to complications of Alzheimer's disease, leaving an estate valued between $1 and $2 million, along with a legacy that blended comedic brilliance, remarkable perseverance, and a quietly inspiring off-screen life. Tim Conway, born December 15, 1933, in Chagrin Falls, Ohio, joined Married with Children in 1995 at age 62 as Ephraim Wanker, Peg Bundy's comically inept and endearingly oblivious father, whose bumbling antics perfectly complemented the show's irreverent humor and provided audiences with a masterclass in physical comedy and timing. Conway's portrayal drew on decades of experience developing characters whose flaws and absurdities mirrored human vulnerability, giving him a rare ability to make audiences laugh while also eliciting empathy for the hapless Ephraim. His childhood in a modest Midwestern town was defined by financial struggles, early familial losses, and societal expectations that initially conflicted with his creative impulses, forcing him to develop improvisational skill, a keen sense of observation, and the resilience to pursue a career in entertainment against the odds. Conway's personal and professional life was punctuated by moments of both triumph and adversity. Multiple Emmy-winning successes on The Carol Burnett Show showcased his unmatched comedic brilliance, yet he faced the challenges of network pressures, the risk of being typecast, and the personal toll of balancing fame with family responsibilities. He endured health challenges, including the onset of dementia in his later years, and navigated complex family dynamics, divorces, and the inevitable grief of losing friends and colleagues. Despite these obstacles, Conway remained creatively active for decades, mentoring emerging comedians, participating in live performances, and cultivating a reputation as a consummate professional who could turn adversity into humor. He passed away on May 14, 2019, at age 85 due to complications from dementia, leaving a net worth estimated at $15 million, a body of work that influenced generations of performers, and a cultural legacy that demonstrates how laughter can serve as both art and solace in the face of life's trials. Diana Bellamy was born on September 19, 1943, in Los Angeles, California, into a modest, working-class family where opportunities were scarce and financial stability was a constant struggle. Her childhood was punctuated by moments of ridicule from peers for her outspoken, quirky nature and her physical appearance, forcing her to develop a sharp wit and a resilient emotional armor to navigate social hierarchies while secretly craving validation. These early experiences shaped her comedic instincts and her ability to bring nuance to offbeat, strong-willed characters later in life. Bellamy entered Married with Children in 1987 at age 44 as customer number 1, a role that, while brief, allowed her to channel her natural comedic timing and commanding screen presence, leaving a memorable impression even in minor scenes. Behind the scenes, her life was far from easy. She contended with progressive blindness, diabetes, and ultimately cancer, battling these ailments while maintaining her professional commitments. Her career was marked by perseverance through pain, continuing to perform in film, television, and theater despite severe physical limitations, earning the admiration of colleagues for her tenacity and dedication. Bellamy also faced the subtle pressures of Hollywood's typecasting, often being offered roles that reinforced stereotypes of eccentric women, yet she turned these constraints into opportunities for subversive humor and quiet rebellion. She passed away on June 17, 2001, at age 57 due to cancer complications, leaving behind a modest estate valued at roughly $1 million. Her legacy, however, extends beyond financial measures. It lies in the strength, authenticity, and memorable performances she delivered, particularly as a trailblazer for character actors navigating personal hardship while making a lasting impression on both audiences and industry peers. Her story remains a compelling testament to resilience, humor, and the often unseen struggles of working actors. Jean Spiegel Howard was born on January 31, 1927, in Duncan, Oklahoma, into a family that faced the enduring hardships of the Depression era, which instilled in her both resourcefulness and a quiet tenacity. She grew up navigating the challenges of limited opportunity, social expectations, and a conservative, often rigid family environment, which left her learning to suppress vulnerability while cultivating inner strength and an observant intelligence that would later define her performances. Joining Married with Children in 1994 at age 67 as Seal, she brought warmth, wit, and a sense of grounded humanity to the show, balancing its irreverence with nuanced comedic timing. Off-screen, Howard's life was a tapestry of personal devotion and professional sacrifice. She stepped away from her acting career for decades to raise her children, enduring the social isolation and unacknowledged labor that accompanies motherhood, and later returned to the screen, navigating a rapidly evolving Hollywood with resilience. Her career was occasionally punctuated by health challenges and the pressures of working in an industry that did not always accommodate mature actresses, yet she leveraged these experiences to imbue her roles with authenticity and grace. Howard passed away on September 2, 2000, at age 73 from heart and respiratory illness, leaving behind an estate estimated at $1 to $2 million, but her true legacy lies in her family and the multi-generational impact she had on Hollywood, nurturing the careers of her children and grandchildren while exemplifying professionalism and perseverance. Her contributions to television and film, often understated, reveal a narrative of steadfast dedication, maternal strength, and a commitment to craft that resonates far beyond her visible screen presence, influencing both audiences and fellow actors alike. Jennifer Eckles was born on July 25, 1954, in Houston, Texas, into a family environment that was shaped by conservative values and modest means, which often imposed strict expectations on behavior and achievement. Her early years were punctuated by personal challenges, including periods of illness and emotional restraint, which instilled in her a disciplined, reflective approach to life and work, as well as an acute awareness of personal vulnerability. She appeared in Married with Children in 1995 at age 41 as Gwen, a guest role that showcased her charm and screen presence, highlighting a combination of warmth and versatility that made even brief appearances memorable. Behind the scenes, Eckles faced a quiet but persistent struggle against typecasting, industry marginalization, and the subtle pressures of Hollywood to conform to aesthetic or market expectations, experiences that occasionally led to periods of professional frustration and introspection. Despite these pressures, she continued to hone her craft across television and film, embracing each role as an opportunity to assert her artistic voice, while balancing private grief and loss, which included the deaths of close friends and the isolation common to character actors navigating a competitive field. She passed away on July 16, 2018, just days before her 64th birthday, leaving an estate valued at around $500,000. Modest in comparison to her body of work, yet reflective of a life dedicated to performance and artistic integrity. Eckles' enduring impact lies in her ability to infuse authenticity into each role, the mentorship she offered to younger colleagues, and her embodiment of perseverance and grace in an often unforgiving industry, crafting a legacy that emphasizes resilience, dedication, and the understated power of sustained creative effort. Jean LeBell, born on October 9, 1932, in Los Angeles, California, entered Married with Children in 1987 at age 55 as Black Ben, a character whose imposing physique and no-nonsense presence left a memorable mark even in brief appearances. Black Ben mirrored LeBell's real-life persona, a legendary martial artist, stuntman, and professional wrestler whose career spanned over 1,000 films and television shows. LeBell's childhood in Depression-era Los Angeles was far from easy. He grew up in a working-class neighborhood, witnessing poverty, crime, and social inequities, circumstances that forged his toughness and resilience. Early experiences with bullying and social marginalization instilled in him a lifelong drive to prove his capabilities through physical mastery and daring feats, which eventually shaped his persona both on-screen and off. Throughout his career, LeBell faced the constant hazards of stunt work, suffering countless minor injuries and narrowly escaping life-threatening situations, while simultaneously mentoring icons like Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, and Ronda Rousey, sometimes clashing with them over safety, technique, or ego. Beyond the physical, his life was punctuated by colorful personal stories, including high-risk exhibitions and Hollywood-set escapades that occasionally skirted legal or safety boundaries, adding to his legend. LeBell's private life, though comparatively discreet, included encounters with fame, fortune, and the pitfalls of celebrity culture, yet he remained deeply committed to the advancement of martial arts and stunt work, ensuring his knowledge would persist long after he left the spotlight. Passing away on August 9, 2022, at age 89, likely of natural causes, he left an estate valued at approximately $10 million, encompassing earnings from decades of work in film, television, and live exhibitions. His legacy is multifaceted: a tangible fortune, an immeasurable influence on combat sports, stunt choreography, and the shaping of Hollywood action sequences, and a narrative of relentless discipline and mentorship that few could rival, cementing his status as a cultural and professional icon whose life was as gripping as the stunts he performed. Alan Thicke, born on March 1, 1947, in Kirkland Lake, Ontario, Canada, joined Married with Children in 1996 at age 49, portraying Bruce, a polished, charming, and articulate character whose presence brought a counterbalance of sophistication to the Bundy's anarchic world. Bruce's refinement and calm authority echoed Thicke's real-life persona, a multifaceted entertainer known as a beloved television father on Growing Pains, a composer of popular TV theme songs, and a talk show host, all of which cemented him as a household name. Thicke's upbringing in a working-class Canadian family was marked by modest means, early responsibility, and exposure to the constraints of post-war life, experiences that nurtured his discipline and ambition. His career, while illustrious, was not without turbulence. 3 marriages, a high-profile affair with a significantly younger Christy Swanson, and occasional criticism for media endorsements and public conduct brought scrutiny, while professional risks, including typecasting and the volatility of television stardom, tested his resilience. A pivotal moment occurred during his later life when he continued performing despite early signs of cardiovascular issues, maintaining public appearances and creative output until his unexpected death on December 13, 2016, at age 69 from a ruptured aorta while playing hockey with his son, an event that shocked fans and colleagues alike. At his passing, Thicke's net worth was estimated at $40 million, including investments, residuals, and royalties, reflecting not just financial success but also a lasting cultural footprint. His work influenced generations of television audiences, defined the archetype of the affable TV dad, and contributed enduring musical themes that continue to resonate. Beyond monetary value, Thicke's legacy encompasses mentorship, humor, and a carefully curated blend of charm and professionalism that remains influential within North American entertainment culture. Tony Steedman, born on August 21, 1927, in Warwickshire, England, appeared in Married with Children in 1992 at age 65 as Mayor Fivshaw, a distinguished, slightly pompous, yet compellingly human character whose presence lent a sharp contrast to the sitcom's chaotic narrative, offering humor through dignity and subtle satire. On screen, Fivshaw embodied authority, decorum, and the restrained eccentricities of political office, showcasing Steedman's theatrical training and remarkable timing in embodying characters that combine gravitas with understated wit. His upbringing in interwar England was colored by social upheaval, wartime austerity, and familial expectations of discipline and cultural literacy, experiences that informed his lifelong dedication to classical theater and character development. Professionally, Steedman navigated a complex career balancing stage work, British television, and occasional international exposure, contending with typecasting, fluctuating budgets, and the inconsistent recognition accorded to British actors abroad. Personal challenges included sustaining a long marriage to actress Judy Parfitt while managing a demanding schedule, coping with the slow encroachment of Alzheimer's disease, and maintaining creative output even as physical and cognitive limitations advanced. Steedman passed away on February 4, 2001, at age 73, his estate estimated between $1 to $2 million, reflecting a life devoted to craft rather than fame. His cultural legacy, while subtle, is profound. He left behind a blueprint of professionalism, adaptability, and artistic integrity, as well as countless performances marked by nuance and precision. Unseen by casual viewers were the countless hours of preparation, mentorship to younger actors, and personal sacrifices that underscored his enduring contributions, ensuring that his influence persists in the ethos of British television and theatre, and in the memory of colleagues and audiences attuned to the art of understated excellence. Carroll Ann Susi, born February 2, 1952, in Brooklyn, New York, was 43 years old when she appeared as Franny in Married with Children in 1995, delivering a vibrant, humorous presence that punctuated the show's often outrageous comedy with charm and timing. Franny was a lively, witty, and approachable character who made a memorable impression despite limited screen time, showcasing Susi's ability to imbue even brief appearances with depth and warmth. Born to working-class parents in Brooklyn, Susi grew up surrounded by the pressures of urban life, the hustle of her community, and the modesty of a family struggling to make ends meet. Early on, she experienced moments of social exclusion and subtle prejudice, learning to mask her emotions and develop resilience, which would later inform her ability to inhabit diverse characters. Professionally, she navigated a career in television, theater, and film, often under intense competition and scrutiny. Although she never courted scandal, the challenge of breaking into Hollywood as a woman in her generation required constant persistence. Personal life remained relatively private, though she reportedly faced the typical stresses of balancing work with personal fulfillment, and she cultivated a reputation for professionalism and dedication. Following her successful but understated career, she continued working steadily, most famously lending her voice to Mrs. Wolowitz in The Big Bang Theory, creating an enduring legacy in popular culture. Susi passed away on November 11, 2014, at age 62 from cancer in Los Angeles, leaving behind an estimated net worth of $500,000 to $1 million and a body of work celebrated for its warmth, humor, and the rare ability to connect deeply with audiences through both physical and vocal performance, solidifying her place as a cherished character actor whose life reflected both persistence and humility. Joseph Bologna, born December 30, 1934, in Brooklyn, New York, was 56 when he portrayed the cunning and fast-talking Charlie Verducci on Married with Children in 1991, delivering a character whose streetwise humor and relentless scheming created memorable comic tension and heightened the series' satirical edge. Charlie was the quintessential hustler, an opportunist constantly pushing boundaries, and Bologna brought both charm and nuanced timing to make him likable despite his moral flaws. Born into a working-class Italian-American family, Bologna's childhood was shaped by economic hardship, rigid family expectations, and the struggle to reconcile traditional values with his artistic ambitions. He experienced early challenges in schooling and societal stereotyping, which instilled a drive to prove himself and an enduring resilience in pursuing a career in acting and writing. Throughout his career, he faced professional setbacks including difficult studio negotiations, periods of typecasting, and the pressure of maintaining relevance in a rapidly evolving entertainment industry. Bologna's personal life was centered on his marriage and creative partnership with Renee Taylor, and although their collaboration was celebrated, it occasionally attracted gossip regarding the intensity of their professional and personal entanglements. After initial success on stage and screen, he leveraged his experience to write, direct, and produce, earning critical acclaim and an Academy Award nomination. Bologna passed away on August 13, 2017, at age 82 from pancreatic cancer, leaving an estate valued at $4 to $5 million, a testament to a life of creative achievement and dedication to both his craft and family, and a legacy that influenced generations of comedic actors and writers who followed in his path. Sam Kinison, born December 8, 1953, in Yakima, Washington, was 35 when he appeared as the explosive, irreverent Angel on Married with Children in 1989, embodying a character whose wild energy, screaming intensity, and unpredictable antics mirrored Kinison's own stage persona as a shock comedian and former Pentecostal preacher. Angel was both mentor and provocateur to Al Bundy, delivering moments of chaotic humor that left audiences simultaneously unsettled and entertained, perfectly reflecting Kinison's fearless approach to comedy. Kinison's upbringing was turbulent, Born to a family marked by economic instability and strict religious discipline, he experienced a childhood filled with confrontation, early exposure to death and tragedy, and the strictures of a Pentecostal environment that both confined and inspired his later irreverent worldview. His life was punctuated by personal and professional upheavals, including addictions to alcohol and cocaine, tumultuous relationships with high-profile women, ongoing legal disputes, and a reputation for volatile on-set behavior that often alienated colleagues. The most devastating turning points included the violent deaths of friends and peers, the dissolution of romantic partnerships, and the looming pressure of maintaining a career in an entertainment industry that both celebrated and exploited his outrageousness. Kinison responded to these crises with relentless touring, boundary-pushing stand-up, and occasional television appearances, using performance as both therapy and a conduit for his extreme personality. Tragically, he died on April 10, 1992, at age 38 in a car crash caused by a drunk driver, cutting short a life defined by intensity, controversy, and uncompromising artistic vision. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $800,000, but his cultural impact and influence on generations of comedians endure, a complex legacy of brilliance, personal demons, and fearless comedic innovation that continues to provoke fascination and admiration. Though time has passed, the laughter they gave us still echoes. The cast of Married with Children 1987 to 1997 brought joy to millions, and even though some of them are no longer with us, their performances live on. As we remember those we've lost, we also celebrate the legacy they left behind, one that continues to entertain and connect generations. Thank you for joining us in honoring these unforgettable stars. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tributes to the legends of television history.